So you're thinking about moving to Missoula, Montana? Now, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about all the schooling options that Missoula has to offer. Not just public schools, but we have co-ops, private schools, and homeschooling. And there are plenty of options so that you can make the best choice for your family. I know that when we moved to Missoula, education was a top priority, and we wanted to make sure that we moved to the right area so that our children could have the best education possible. So that's what I'm going to be sharing in today's video, so you're going to want to stick around. Let's get after it right now. I'm Diana Filkins from Living in Missoula, Montana. We get calls, texts, and emails from people just like you seeking assistance with their move to this amazing city and the surrounding areas. I would be absolutely honored to help you make a smooth move, whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days. Please reach out to me. My contact information is in the description box below. Let's talk about Missoula schools. So here are some stats for you. Missoula has 19 public schools. There are 9 elementary schools, 3 middle schools, 4 high schools, 1 alternative high school learning program, 1 early learning preschool center, and 1 adult education center. Missoula has a little over 9,000 students in their public school system. There are about 1,300 staff members in these schools, with 785 being certified staff members and 491 being classified staff members. And Missoula is so wonderful. With all of these schools, we also need some volunteers. So there are 2,741 volunteers that help out our kiddos at school. Now let's talk about school demographics. It's pretty 50-50 male to female. There are about 60% of students are on free and reduced lunch. And Missoula has about 340 homeless students. 19% of the student population is special ed. We have 84% of our students in the public schools are white, 8.1% are Hispanic and Latino, 5% are Native American, 2% Black, 1.7% Asian, and 0.3% are Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander. Now, a great resource that I highly suggest that you look into is greatschools.com. You can go on that website, and I will link it down below for you. But on that website, you can get a rating of the school that maybe you're thinking about, or if you're thinking about a neighborhood and you want to see what schools fall into that neighborhood, this would be a great resource for you. So you'll get some school rankings. You can see the breakdown and the demographics of each school, how they tested in last year's standardized testing. There are reviews from parents. Now, please keep in mind, I am a former public school teacher, and read these reviews with a grain of salt. Now, your child's education will be solely dependent on your child, you, and their teacher. So one person can absolutely hate a teacher, and one person can absolutely love a teacher. And the same exact thing for the principal as well. So please do your research, go on these websites, read the reviews, talk to the community, and please do your own research. Just don't base your entire decision on these websites and these reviews. Please, 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 okay? All right, soapbox done. So here are the elementary schools that are in Missoula County. We have Chief Charlo, Franklin, Hawthorne, Jeanette Rankin, Lewis and Clark, Lowell, Paxton, Rattlesnake, and Russell. So some of the programs that they use within the schools, and this is 2023 data, so please keep that in mind. For English language arts, you have Ready Gen is the reading program that they use. For math, they use iReady and Ready Math. For science, they use Project Led the Way and Mystery Science. And for social emotional learning, they use the curriculum Character Strong and Lead in Me. Now, this does change either year to year or every few years, so please keep that in mind if you are moving now, or it may change in the future, or if you're moving in 2 or 3 years, it may be different. This is 2023 data. Now, overall, our public school students, 57% are proficient in math and 64% are proficient in ELA, English Language Arts. So the middle schools for Missoula County are C.S. Porter, Meadow Hill, and Washington. And at these middle schools, our students are 42% proficient in math and 54% proficient in ELA. So there are 4 high schools in Missoula County. You have Big Sky, Hellgate, Sealy Swan, which is up in Sealy Lake, and Sentinel. So at these high schools, your high school student can receive AP classes. There are IB programs as well, career and technical education, agricultural education, health science academy, business professionals of America, industrial technology, world languages, and dual credit opportunities. So the world is your oyster, just go for it. The adult education in Missoula County is the Life Learning Center, and it offers workforce training, academic essentials, health and fitness classes, and an array of community classes, career training, high set testing, and English as a second language, and EL civics classes, college prep, and virtual classes. So if you're an adult learner, it's never too late. All right, now let's get into some other options besides the public school. So Missoula County has a really strong homeschooling community. Now, depending on how old your child is and where they are educationally and maturity and social and emotional, you can find different co-op groups to join. So there are groups that get together and they go for a hike, and someone in the group will lead a nature lesson, for example. And other options are they take swimming lessons together, or they have PE classes weekly. There are tons of classes that you can sign up, and some are drop-off, and some are where the parent stays and participates. Some of the co-op options are led by an actual teacher that is hired out, and some are led by a parent. So the parent will study the lesson, whatever it may be, prep the materials, and then get it ready for the students that show up. And it is a beautiful mix of students who are younger and older, the older children helping the younger children, but they also have classes that are geared towards younger children or classes that are geared towards older children. There are lots of programs that also come. So Animal Wonders is a rescue here in Missoula, and they have lots of animals, and they put on these, they're not shows, but they're just to show the animal, talk about the animals in rescue. And that's one of the classes that a homeschooler can take. So there's lots of different options for homeschooling. There's also a curriculum swap. It happens about once or twice a year, where a bunch of parents come together, and that's exactly what they do. You get to preview different types of curriculum and decide which curriculum works best for your family, and then you swap them. And it's a great opportunity to not only meet other homeschooling families, but just to talk, get other people's opinions, like, oh, my my kiddo had a hard time with this curriculum's math, or this is what I liked about it, this is what I didn't like about it, or the English program or the reading program, I really liked that, or this science program, I would switch out this section with something else, and this is how I did it. So it's a great opportunity to talk through the curriculum and see if it's the right fit for you. Another option that Missoula has is called Forest School. So this is an outdoor school, and they have it for kids, I believe it starts at 5 years old all the way up until you're teenagers, and they learn outside. So they go on hikes, or they go to someone who has a ton of space, a ton of property. They do all their learning outside, and it's a great opportunity to explore the beauty of Montana. And the one big caveat is you have to be prepared for the elements. So if it's raining, school is still happening. If it's snowing, it's happening. If it's freezing outside, it's happening. So having the proper gear, I could go on for hours about having the proper gear, especially with your younger children, because they will get cold pretty fast. I mean, I guess with your older children too. You want to make sure that kids are prepared for the elements, especially at Forest School, because it's all 100% outside. They will explore like farms and animals and take care of them, and it's a great opportunity if you want something that's different than the public school setting. If you have any questions about public schools, co-ops, homeschooling options, please reach out to me. As a former public school teacher, I geek out on talking about schools and different options for kids, because unlike when I was a kid where public school, or I didn't even talk about private schools, I went to a private Catholic school for 12 years, and then I taught for 8 years at a public school. So I have a ton of experience navigating the different options. We didn't have these kinds of opportunities when I was a kid, and it's nice that school and learning can look so many different ways. So if you have questions about public school, private schools, co-ops, homeschool, I can definitely point you in the right direction, because I could talk about schools just like I could talk about real estate for hours. So I kind of geek out on stuff like this. So if you haven't done so already, please hit the like and subscribe button. That way it helps bring more of Missoula's charm to you. All right, let's get into private schools. Now, there are 48 private schools in Missoula. Now you can find religious-based private schools, or you can find non-religious based private schools. It's whatever tickles your fancy, right? So you can have smaller schools where your child will be in a class with 12 kids, and you can have a bigger private school where your student will be one of 24. So it's really important to take a tour of these schools, talk to the principal, ask questions, and when you're taking a tour, pro tip, look at how the teachers interact with the students. Is that what you want for your child? And it's also really important to see how teachers talk to each other. Do they talk negatively regularly? Or do they seem excited to be there? Or are they fair? How is the school kept? Now, these are really important things to consider when you're choosing a private school, but I would do the exact same thing at a public school, and that is exactly what I did. I did go on a tour of my daughter's public school, and I looked around and I volunteered, and I went to games, like their football games or their soccer games, and I wanted to see what it's like to be part of that community, and could myself and my children, can we fit into this community? And the answer was yes. So that was an easy choice. So make sure to really just look around and feel it. I know this sounds kind of dumb, but when choosing somewhere for your children, a feeling and your gut feeling goes a very long way. So keep that in mind. Now, let's get into daycares, preschools. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a freaking headache, okay? So if you know that you're going to move to Missoula in 3 or 6 months, you get on those wait lists right now. If you find out you're pregnant, get on those wait lists right now. The wait lists are super long, or there's a spot that pops up and you have to snatch it up immediately. No, it's like a weird game you have to play. And I don't recommend it. It's not fun, but you have to do it, right? So like I talked about in the private schools, when you're touring, absolutely tour these daycare facilities and these preschools. It's really important that your gut feels good and you feel confident that your child is going to be in the right place. And also read reviews online, talk to the community, just like put yourself out there to see if you fit into the culture, to see if your kid fits in. It's really important to feel good about where you put your kid in school. And once you get that not great, bad feeling in your gut about a place, move them. Now, it's a headache to move, but there are other options for you. So, recap. If you know that you're going to move, start calling daycares and preschools right now. And there are all sorts of preschools too. There are in-home preschools and daycares. There are facilities. There are smaller facilities. There are bigger facilities. There's Montessori options. There's Waldorf options. There's daycares and preschools that focus more on curriculum, and there are some that don't. So whatever you want, you will find it here in Missoula. I can't promise you, but there are just so many options, and we definitely found the right one for our family, and I would be honored to help point you in the right direction if you have like a list of things that you want specifically for your child. But I would start calling them now before your move and get on the wait list, or start talking to the teachers or the directors to see when they're gonna have space or when their open house is, so that you can take a tour, take a private tour, set that up. Do as much as you can now so that when the time comes, it makes it so much easier for everyone. And if you're looking for a specific neighborhood or a particular school within a neighborhood, be sure to check out this playlist that has all of the neighborhoods that I've recorded so far. I haven't done all of them. It's on my to-do list, but I go through each neighborhood talking about the pros and the cons and all the great things about the neighborhood. I do a driving tour, so make sure to check out those neighborhood videos to get a feel for what it's like to live in those neighborhoods. And then you can see which schools, I'm referring to public schools here, which public schools align with that neighborhood. And then that way you'll see if it's a perfect fit for you, okay?